Hello friends, welcome back to another session on creating and starting threads using the normal threads API. In this session, we will discuss the third technique for the same. As the third technique is similar to the first one, I am just going to make a copy of the first way class and create a new class called third way. Let us also keep the first way class in a second editor here to see the differences between the first technique and the third technique. Before moving further, let us rename the first task inner class here to third task. The first way and third way classes are still the same as of now. We will now start making changes in the third way class that show the difference in the two techniques. The first change that we are going to make in the third way class is in our thread cum task definition, that is in the inner class third task. Instead of extending the thread class, we will make it implement the runnable interface. As this class no longer extends thread now, we do not have access to the threads start method in this class. So we need to remove the this.start statement from its constructor. And lastly, as the third task class does not extend the thread class now, we cannot capture the thread reference in the main method any longer. These updates have changed the third task class from being a thread cum task definition to only a task definition now. But in order to run a thread, we also need a thread object in addition to the runnable implementation or the task definition. So what we are going to do is that we will create a new thread object in the constructor of the third task and pass it an object of the third task itself as task definition. We are going to use the this reference here. Then we are going to start that thread immediately. So let's do it. Here we have used the overloaded constructor of the thread class that takes a runnable parameter. Our updates are complete. Let us run this class now. Again, we have got similar output as the previous two tutorials. The reason being that our run method has exactly the same code even if the threads are started in different ways in all the three examples. In the end, there are three differences between the first technique and the third one. Firstly, in the third technique, we have a task definition instead of a thread cum task definition. That is, our third task here implements runnable instead of extending thread. Secondly, to fulfill our requirements of a thread object, we are creating the thread object in the constructor and providing it the this reference before starting the thread immediately. And thirdly, we can no longer capture the thread reference in the main method. In fact, there is no way here that the caller can capture the thread reference at all. So this third technique is useful in those scenarios where you need fire and forget type of threads. That is, when you do not want to carry out any operations on the threads once they have started. You do not care what happens to them once you have started them, whether they finish successfully or they take a long time to complete or they finish very fast, etc. etc. This brings us to the end of this session. Hope you found it interesting. See you in the next session now. Bye.